Doing the sexy scenes, I have to be completely transparent. It's weird.
Clock in, clock in. Black gotta just walked in. Team Black gotta stand up, man. Yo, right now we get into this video with Diddy and Cassie Ventura. I know y'all been hearing what's been going on. One thing we all can agree on is this situation is a little bit too hot out here. We all got the rundown of what's been taking place in this whole Diddy case. This had to be one of the most talked about cases in the 21st century. And the spotlight was shined on P. Diddy alongside his ex-girlfriend, Cassie. It even went as far as Cassie Ventura playing a part in the state attorney's plan to take down P. Diddy. The spotlight was shined on her and everything she accused P. Diddy of. There's been so many red flags in the case that caused so much concern. One thing everybody was sure about is the fact that P. Diddy could have been an abuser and this could just be a domestic violence situation. There's a lot of people who also feel like it could have been domestic violence on both parts. We all see these abusive relationships nowadays. It's becoming real normal. But in the mix of the ending of their relationship, Cassie ultimately sued P. Diddy and was given around $30 million from Diddy to settle their differences. But everything wasn't over after that, because now these new charges emerged on P. Diddy, and P. Diddy was ultimately found not guilty on a majority of the charges. Diddy was found guilty on 2 charges, which was transportation to engage in prostitution. To Diddy, that was a major win, being that he was fighting racketeering charges and also sex trafficking charges, which can hold 10 years to life in prison. Cassie decided to be front row. As a matter of fact, she decided to be the front seat of this whole situation. Cassie spoke on everything that took place, and she also explained how she was a victim of this whole process.
You're a victim.
But after this case resulted in P. Diddy not being found guilty of all charges, may have put Cassie in some hot water. And I mean hot water. This case started taking a crazy turn when one of the trusted escorts that Cassie brought up in the courtroom is now coming out to sue both Cassie and Diddy. Something that some people may not know is that this guy who's suing P. Diddy and Cassie, his name is Clayton Howard. He was initially supposed to testify against P. Diddy, but the prosecutors ended up changing their mind after seeing the way he felt about Cassie.
One, I was in an economic position where I really needed the money. 2, Mr. Combs is incredibly powerful, and Miss Ventura had no problem ending her use of that power, which has actually been revealed now because we've heard recordings of her threatening people. We've seen text messages. There are many different sides to people, and even Cassie is a normal individual. She has herself. There's a side to her that people don't know, the side that manipulated Sean Combs' power, the side that embraced his power and his position to do things that she wanted. So I was always afraid if I stopped coming, then I would start having problems, because she threatened me several times to come and made me feel uncomfortable that I would come to see her just to avoid any problem with Sean Combs. He's incredibly powerful. He has people that could follow me around, damaging my life for years, and it would cost him nothing to do it. So I want to say I continued in the situation, but not as much. There was many times that I did stall them, flake on them, as the word goes, and not show up. But I kept the relationship strong enough that they never thought I was trying to turn on them or betray this.
Now, it's clear as day that Cassie would not benefit off of his testimony, because not only is he making Cassie not look like a victim, he's clearly making Cassie seem as if she played a whole part in this situation. She knew what she was doing, and in no way, shape, or form was she a victim. Now, the real question is, what is he actually suing Cassie for? Because Cassie is actually the main person he's suing. Isn't it crazy how Cassie was once on the stand saying she was a victim and seeking justice? Then for right after the verdict comes out, now we have a man saying the whole time she wasn't a victim and he was a victim all along. And also the other escorts, because that's the only thing I see coming out of this situation, is that more people is going to come out and also try to sue Cassie. Can her going on stand to try to take P. Diddy down be her downfall? I don't know, but this situation is looking real shaky. For those of you guys who want to know, what is he actually suing her for? Let's take a look at the reasons he feel like she deserves to pay. In May, Clayton Howard's attempt to block a subpoena was challenged by the defense. They said his journal, which had been shared with prosecutors, was not protected. Cassie has identified Howard as Dave, one of their regulars, during a freak-off. Then a few days ago, Howard filed a new lawsuit against Combs and Cassie Ventura, claiming that Cassie gave him an STD infection during unprotected sex, emotional abuse, and more. Howard says he was trafficked for 5+ years, flown around the U.S. and used for freak-offs. Clayton actually wrote and released a book. He named it Cassie, Victim or Conspirator: My Experiences Inside of P. Diddy's Freak Off. And in this book, Howard said he revealed his real name to Cassie after years of sex. Cassie disclosed she had been treated for chlamydia. He says he was passionate about their condomless sex and joined group sessions, all consensual, no force was used. One of the damning allegations made by Howard that Cassie gave him an STD, got pregnant by him, aborted without telling him, and continued sleeping with him afterwards. Also, Cassie wasn't a victim, but a participant who willingly manipulated and exploited him and others. Howard says Cassie manipulated him to take ecstasy and forced him to perform sex for hours, including to the point of bleeding and scabbing. He accused Cassie of giving him the false impression that she and Combs were married swingers. Howard's not a random accuser. He was named repeatedly during Diddy's trial. Cassie testified that Diddy wanted a freak off in the Hamptons. She said she took GHB, blacked out, woke up, nude in the shower while Dave and Diddy were panicking. She said it was pretty. Federal agent Delisa Panland confirmed a 4-season suite and booked under Clayton Howard, Dave, and paid for Diddy's Bad Boy Entertainment. Panland also confirmed a NYC to LA flight, again under Howard's name, also funded by Diddy. Even though Cassie testified that he was one of the escort Combs forced her to have sex with, Howard's lawsuit says Combs rather watched him have sex with Cassie like her protector. During one encounter, Combs threatened to whip him. So from the sounds of it, Howard claimed everything was consensual, but he also reaped terrible benefits and he was misled throughout this whole process. 1, he thought they was married, and 2, he didn't know he would contract any sort of STD during this process. And me hearing all of this happen sounds crazy. It really sounds ludicrous. Like, how on earth would I assume that P. Diddy, a well-known entrepreneur, and his alleged girlfriend slash babe slash boo, Cassie, who's a well-known person, would be out here moving this sloppy, having unprotected sex, getting and giving STDs, while also getting pregnant in the process? This whole thing sounds wild and really unbelievable.
I had unprotected sex with me, and that was the strange part for me. I didn't want to have unprotected sex with her. I wanted to put a condom on. But she insisted on it. You know, she told me she was on birth control now, so we didn't have anything to worry about. She seduced me into telling me it had been months and she was missing me and all of this other stuff. So I succumbed and I had unprotected sex with her again. But when I left, I remember thinking to myself, like, for her to just get pregnant and be crying and saying it was so traumatic to go back and do this again, I lost a lot of respect for her after that. And that's when I really started to look at her like maybe she was just, and I don't mean that with any disrespect, but the truth is the truth. If a woman is willing to have such promiscuous so many men without any thought or any indication of getting pregnant, that's what she is. She's just a loose woman. And maybe that's what Cassie is in her heart. She's just
But it honestly is wild to once be labeled as a victim and everybody was saluting this and everybody was rooting for her in this situation, and now it turns out, after a lot of people heard what this man is planning on doing, they are now shaming him as a man trying to sue a girl. When a female does something and a man tries to do the same thing, he doesn't get the same applaud as a girl would. But one thing I do know is right is right, wrong is wrong. And the only thing we can do and see how this situation turns out.
So good morning. I am Dave, the man who has just sued Cassandra Ventura for damages involved in the Sean Combs sex trafficking trial. And I'm looking through social media and I see a lot of the women out there, particularly black women like myself, who choose to victim shame me and try to do everything they can to discredit me, because the truth is that the loss of the Sean Combs trial was a loss to the Me Too movement and to hating women like the women who are trying to insult me. So let me tell you something, you women out there who would like to insult me. This is my story. I was paid by Cassie, Cassandra Ventura, for 8 years to be her male provider. I didn't have to be the best looking guy. I was the best in bed. And because I was the best in bed, guess what? I was given this arrangement. I was coerced. I was drugged. I was manipulated with promises of money and gifts for over a period of 8 years to continue to be this woman's provider at her expense and at the expense of Diddy. Now at the time, legally, I didn't know my rights as well as I do now. I didn't create this conflict with Cassandra Ventura. She created it with me. She's the one who decided to bring up things that happened over 10 to 15 years ago to hold Sean Combs accountable for what was a partial truth. She's the person who introduced me to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's the person who told the U.S. Attorney's Office about our relationship. So in essence, those out there who want to hate on me, who want to say that I'm attacking Cassie, you should realize the truth, that Cassandra Ventura, your idol, did this to herself. She exposed herself to liability when she got on the stand and decided to mention me as the male escort who was with her when she overdosed and Diddy made her have sex with him. That was a lie, people. Cassie had just woke up from sleeping 8 hours. Myself and Sean Combs were exhausted. We wanted to go home. Cassie's the one who forced that sexual encounter. People, she tells you that Sean Combs made her have sex on her menstrual cycle. I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But I know the one time that did happen, that Sean Combs was not responsible for that Cassie, in a drunken, intoxicated, hormonally imbalanced state due to her period, manipulated and forced herself on me during her menstrual cycle. And what I mean by that is I had no knowledge she was on her cycle because the room was completely dark. She manipulated the room. She manipulated the environment to get what she wanted, and then she totally got up like I was the one who should have been grateful. You're on your... That's disgusting, and I deserved more respect than that. As a man, if I had laid down with a woman and forced myself on her, as them in her, and she got up and it was her, guess what? I would have. So by statute, by case law definition, Cassandra Ventura sexually assaulted me. I'm not looking to destroy Cassie. I've given Cassie more than a year to settle this before things got out of control. The problem is she's being supported by women like you who would choose to attack male victims instead of accept the truth, which is that a woman could have lied to get revenge on the ex-boyfriend who broke her heart and hurt her. It happens, people. They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And that's true. If you hurt some women, they will do everything in their power. If you hurt some men, they'll do everything in their power to hurt you. But I want to end this by saying this. Cassie did this to herself. They say he who sets out on the course of revenge should dig 2 graves. People, Cassie dug the grave that is Clayton Howard herself. Cassie got on the stand trying to destroy Diddy. She should have took her $20-30 million and walked into the sunset, people. She should have never gotten on the stand and created further liability for herself by telling more of the lie that she created to get this man sent to prison for his life. She made a mistake when she got on the stand, people. She made a mistake when she got on the stand and lied about the ex with Clayton Howard. Clayton's a victim of Cassandra Ventura. Clayton Howard didn't ask to be in a relationship with Cassandra Ventura while she was sleeping with numerous men per week. I get it. You all think I was a nasty male sleeping with women, all different women all the time. It actually didn't work like that. To have certain types of people that can pay you that well, what you really have to do is you have to focus on people who are affluent. And affluent people don't engage in activities like that. So I might have had a client once a month. The truth is I was only a male escort for 2 years. I continued in the profession because Cassie and Diddy continued to pay me very well. And I was an ex-con. I needed money. I was trapped in a situation. I'll admit that. I didn't know what to do. But does that mean I should be victim shamed because the same thing that happened to women all the time happened to me as a man? No. And for those women out there, for you black women who choose to shame me as a black man for telling my truth, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's probably pretty much all I have to say. You will not see me too much in the media. I don't need the public to believe me. I just need a jury of my peers and 12 people to believe me in the court. And thanks to the testimony of Cassie during the trial of Sean Combs, I have that.
Thank you for watching. Stop victim shaming.
You guys let me know how you guys feel about that in the comment section below. All right, guys, it's time for VOTD. You guys can put WVOTD in the comment section below if this is what you needed to hear. 2 Corinthians. So we do not lose heart, though our outer self is wasting away. Our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal.